Good afternoon. My name is Mark Cardone, Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 2295, and I'm pleased to serve as Master of Ceremonies as we honor 6 of our own for attaining Scouting's highest rank, Eagle Scout. Jacob Dapper Capagnola, Jake Hoogstraight, Michael Ginch, Brandon Cho, Sean Murray, and Brian Bastide. This is an important day both for the Eagles and their families and our troop itself. As we begin, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to our honored guests and presenters from our own community and the many organizations who joined us today to recognize our new Eagle Scouts.
I'm Tristan Hooper, Assistant Senior Patrol Leader of Troop 295, and I'd like to briefly introduce our adult leadership. Mr. Jamie Hooper, Mr. Mike Ginch, Mr. Ernie Bazzario, Mr. Slavko Horonchik, Mr. Patrick Dunn, Mr. Jeff Hums, Mr. Lou Pazinski, Mr. Kevin Kress. We'd like to remind everyone that there will be a reception celebrating our new Eagles immediately following the ceremony. And finally, we ask that if you have a cell phone, please turn off the ringer as a courtesy to all during our program.
Now please rise as we join in our Father Andrew of St. Peter's in our opening prayer, and then please remain standing for the presentation of the colors.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as a family, friends, leaders, and fellow scouts on this significant day in the life of our 6 boys. Today we think of all the merit badges earned along the way, the oath committed to, the character these young men developed, and the service to our community these boys worked so hard to bring about. So, we ask for your blessing on 6 boys and their families who supported and encouraged them, and their fellow scouts who helped them along the way. Bless the scout leaders and all those who are here physically or in spirit. Continue to walk with these young boys as they take these next steps in becoming the scouts and the people you desire them to be. We ask this through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Andrew. Troop 2295, please come to attention. Color Guard, advance the colors. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Scouts, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color Guard dismissed. Alex Bazzario, please come in on site to scout off.
Scout sign, scout oath. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally and morally straight.
Scout law, scout sign. Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Now please welcome Star Scout Aiden O'Leary.
We are indeed here to honor our troop's newest Eagle Scouts, but this is not the first time they have been recognized for rank advancement. 6 times before, they have stood before us, first when they received their scout badge, then when they earned each rank leading to Eagle Scout. And each time they seemed a little more skilled, a little surer of themselves, and that much more dedicated to the ideals of scouting. Let's take a moment to reflect back on the steps they took on the trail to Eagle Scout. Will the scouts representing our ranks please assemble?
I'm a new scout. I wear the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of scouting throughout the world. The three parts of the fleur-de-lis represent the three parts of the scout oath: duty to God, country, and self, which I am beginning to learn and live.
I am a tenderfoot scout. I am a tenderfoot scout. To the fleur-de-lis, I have added an eagle and shield, representing my country, and 2 stars, representing truth and knowledge.
I am a second-class scout. My badge bears a scroll inscribed with the scout motto, "Be prepared." The scroll is upturned like a smile to remind us of scouts' cheerfulness. Suspended from the scroll is a knot reminding me to do a good turn daily.
I am a first-class scout. My badge shows the complete emblem, the fleur-de-lis, eagle and shield, stars and scroll, indicating that I have completed my basic scout training.
I am a Star Scout. Before me are unlimited opportunities for achievement, service, and leadership. Like the stars in the night sky, my example, actions, and deeds can shine brightly for all to see.
I'm a life scout, almost an eagle. The heart on my badge shows I've taken scouting's lessons to heart. I'm ready to continue my commitment and journey moving forward while guiding and leading others along the way.
I am an Eagle Scout. I have earned Scout's highest rank by displaying skill, service, and leadership. Even long after I left the troop, I forever remain an Eagle, living my life honoring all the ideals of Scouting, serving my community, and leading others by my example.
I'd like to introduce Thomas Dunn to review the Eagle Scout requirements for us.
Reaching Eagle is a long path of achievement over several years. Each scout needs to earn 21 merit badges, with 10 of them specific to Eagle requirements. The scouts before you today have earned more than 200 between them, far and above the minimum required. Each must hold a position of leadership within the troop and exemplify the scout oath and law, whether it be as troop guide, scribe, librarian, quartermaster, or senior patrol leader. They must also volunteer for at least 18 hours of service towards the community benefit and conservation. The scouts here committed that many hours in their Eagle projects alone, and many more in some cases. Reaching Eagle is no easy task and something to be proud of.
In just a few short years, a scout on the path to Eagle grows in many ways. From someone who struggled to memorize the oath and the law to someone who lives by those words. From someone who wanted to try camping to someone who is as skilled as an experienced outdoorsman. From someone who needed to be led to someone who has the ability to lead others. As a troop, we have watched Jacob, Jake, Michael, Brandon, Sean, and Brian make this journey, mapping their trail, meeting challenges, and leading us. We are very proud of them.
Before we continue with the Eagle Awards, we'd like to recognize the adult leadership of our troop. Adult leaders have a unique responsibility. They must know all the skills and the qualities that make a good scout, and they must be able to patiently teach them, both by example and by instruction. But what makes a good leader? A part is the ability to step back when the lesson is complete and allow the scout to take the lead. And in doing so, allow them to lead others. We are fortunate to have an excellent group of adult leaders who do all this for us and more. With their knowledge and their patience, they help us blaze our own trail to Eagle. Mr. Jamie Hooper, Mr. Mike Ginch, Mr. Ernie Bazzario, Mr. Slavko Horonchik, Mr. Patrick Dunn, Mr. Jeff Hums, Mr. Lou Kaczynski, and Mr. Kevin Kress.
Thank you. It's now time for the highlight of our program, the presentation of the Eagle Scout Award. I'd like to welcome our Scoutmaster, Mr. Jamie Hooper, to come forward to make the presentation to our new Eagles, assisted by their Eagle mentors.
Yeah. Jacob, Jake, Michael, Brandon, Sean, Brian, please stand. I have the honor to give you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting. The Boy Scouts, on the line with you. Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant influences in world history. You have been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America. Your responsibility goes beyond your fellow Scouts. It extends to your God and your country. Life here has many fine things to offer you, but these good things depend for the most part on the quality of our citizens. Our country has a great past. You can help make the future still greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service in God and your fellow man. So, live and serve that those who know you will be inspired to the finest living. We have too many who use their strengths and their minds to exploit others and gain selfish ends. Be different and light a better way. This is the Eagle Scout Medal. It, along with the Eagle Badge on your uniform, symbolizes the pinnacle of achievement in the Boy Scouts of America. totally lost my place. Brian, Brandon, Jacob, Michael, Jake, Sean. We have all heard about the skill, dedication, and hard work it has taken to bring all 6 of you here today. As you know, in our troop, at every advancement ceremony, we also recognize the importance of your parents in your advancement and all the love and support and guidance they provide along the way. Today is no different, and we ask that they join us here today. Will our Eagle parents please come forward and stand by your sons? In this endeavor, your parents have undoubtedly been your primary source of help and strength. Whether or not they have been along you at every Scout event, camp out, or service project, your parents have been with you in spirit. We recognize them both this afternoon. No one can truly know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice from your mother over your years with us. Scouts, in recognition of your mother's devotion, please present her with the Eagle Mother's pin. Your father has been the source of much advice and guidance along the Eagle Trail. While it is a Scout leader's job to teach and lead by example, it is your father who in many important things is your first teacher and first leader. Scouts, in recognition of your father's guidance, please present him with the Eagle lapel pin. All good? All right, parents may be seated. As I am sure all these Scouts and their parents can attest to, the final miles on the path to Eagle are not possible without the guidance of the Eagle mentor. This role requires an attentive individual who can walk the fine line between objective observation and informed advice. He thereby allows a Scout to experience both the responsibility of his own decisions and the rewards of a job well done. Our 6 Eagle Scouts have been fortunate to have these individuals guide their journey. Jacob, Mr. Kevin Kress. Jake, Mr. Kevin Kress. Michael, Frank Garcia. Please come forward. There he is. Brandon, Mr. Russ Sagerman. And Sean, Mr. Kevin Kress. Scouts, could you please present your mentors with their Eagle mentor pins? Who do I miss? Brian. Oh, I apologize, Mr. Reagan Ginter. It's because your name appears too much, Karen. I'd like to ask Mr. Assistant Scoutmaster, Mr. Dunn, to come forward to present our Eagles with their Eagle neckerchiefs and slides.
Will all the Eagle Scouts in the room please rise? To our newest Eagle Scouts, gentlemen, I charge you to become among those who dedicate their hearts and minds to the common good. I charge you to build on the sound foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. Then, whatever others do, you will leave behind you a record of which you may be justly proud. I charge all of you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood, holding before you the ideals of honor and service. And we ask you to accept this charge with the Eagle's promise. Though the words you use here will be similar to those by which you joined Scouting, today they will mean more than they could have meant at any time in the past. When you pledge yourself in your sacred honor, you will be sealing your loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the words to close the Declaration of Independence. Scouts, Scout sign, please. All Eagle Scouts, please join us and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make, by training and example, my rank and my influence count strongly for better citizenship in my troop, in my church, and in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2. Thank you. Mr. Hooper.
Thank you. And now it is my great honor to present to you our newest Eagle Scouts.
Scouts, you can sit. Thank you all, and congratulations. As we've heard, our Eagles' achievements are truly noteworthy, and we are fortunate to have with us some very special guests to recognize and congratulate them. Our first guest, New Jersey Assemblyman Christopher Tully, Legislative District 38.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? Wow, I just really want to say first, it's just great to see so many smiling faces in one room, which is no small miracle after the year and a half we've all endured. So it's a real honor to be here and a real honor to be back at Troop 2295. I represent District 38 in State Assembly. We represent 13 different communities. River Edge is one of our communities, and I have to say, by far, River Edge churns out the most Eagle Scouts, probably in Bergen County, maybe the state, because I'm here all the time, and I got to say congratulations. That's no small feat. And that's a testament to the Scout leadership that's here. So Jamie and everybody, I really just want to congratulate you for running a phenomenal program here. And of course, the many parents and families. It does take a village. And boys, gentlemen, for everything that you've done, you're here because you have great families that have supported you along the way. And I know that you recognize that because that's really what the Scouts are all about. The Scouts are about becoming leaders in our community, and you've put so much work and dedication into the sacred honor, and you are now leaders in that community. So I'm actually here on behalf of Senator Joe Lagana, Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, and myself to bring commendations and congratulations to the incredible work that you have put forth in this past, your entire scouting career, but especially this year, and really just to say congratulations with certifications from the state of New Jersey. They are very long, so I will not read all of them, but I will read the end just to give you praise of what we recognize as an incredible honor. So as a result of the considerable accomplishments and exemplary dedication to excellence, all of you have brought honor and pride to your families, to your community, and to the state. So now be it resolved by the State Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby honors and congratulates all of you upon attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, commends your outstanding record of service, leadership, and accomplishments exemplified by that rank, and extends to all of you sincere best wishes and continued success in all future endeavors. And I'd actually like to call up all of you to present these certifications. First, Brian Bastide. Brandon Cho. Jacob Dapper Campoglia. Close? Sorry. Michael Ginch. Jake Hoogstreet. And Sean Murray. It's an incredible honor, as always, to be here and to represent so many individuals in this room. Please know that our office is always open. And of course, gentlemen, and to our future scouts and future Eagle Scouts, good luck, congratulations, and God bless. Thank you, everybody.
Our next guests are from the River Edge Council, President Dario Chinigo and River Edge Councilwoman Michelle Kaufman.
Thank you, and it's great to be with you all here today. Thank you so much to the Scout leadership and the parents for all they've done. And we are so happy to be here representing Mayor and Council to recognize the Scouts. You're now part of only 4% of Scouts that make it to Eagle Scout. And I was very interested to learn that there are 40 astronauts who are Eagle Scouts. So not even the sky is a limit for you guys now. And the skills and the habits that you've built doing your work are going to be a great benefit to you and your communities for the rest of your lives. So very happy to be here today. So we'll start off with Jacob Dapper Campagnola. Thank you so much for the beautiful work you did at the Englewood Flat Rock Park. Fantastic. And Jake Hoogstreet. Jake Hoogstreet, thank you for the wonderful work you did right here, fixing the playground and making it new. Mike Ginch, thank you for creating a beautiful earthen oven at Newbridge Landing. And Brandon Cho, thank you for the beautiful job you did renovating and reorganizing the boathouse. And Sean Murray, thank you for the fantastic work you did building an outdoor space for the women at Ridgefield Park. And Brian Bastide, thank you so much for the wonderful work that you did creating the Webelows Trail, which I use every day. And then my separate hat is as part of the River Edge Democratic Committee, and I'd like to present you all with gifts from them. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you. Just on behalf of the mayor and council, I just want to congratulate you all again for the job you did in becoming Eagle Scouts. You do your families proud, you do the Scouts proud, you do your town proud, and you do the United States of America proud. God bless.
The next person we would like to invite up is Goonie Bird Detachment Al Frater and John Hernandez.
Good afternoon. I'm Al Frater, District 2 Vice Commandant of the Marine Corps League in New Jersey, here representing the Goonie Bird Detachment. I'm here with John Hernandez, who is the Commandant of the Goonie Bird Detachment. We want to congratulate all the boys today for what they have done. What we have for them is a certificate, a letter, an Eagle Scout patch that they can that is authorized by the Boy Scouts. They could wear that with the rest of their patches, and a challenge coin. Right now, I'd like to introduce John Hernandez, who would like to say a few words and read the letter.
Good afternoon. God bless America and the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! And I would also like to add these Eagle Scouts. Good recruitment source here. Now, let me read you this letter that's going to the 6 men. The Goonie Bird Detachment of the Marine Corps League congratulates you on attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. Since our inception on November 10, 1775, the United States Marine Corps has understood that only a few good men and women are capable of completing the physical, mental, and sometimes seemingly impossible requirements that are needed to be called Marine. So it is with the rank of Eagle Scout. For over 100 years, thousands of young men have enjoyed the scouting program, but only a small percentage have achieved the highest rank awarded by the Boy Scouts of America. Another similarity between the Marines and the Eagle Scout is that there is no such thing as an ex-Marine or former Eagle Scout. Once earned, these coveted titles remain forever. By following the goals of scouting that include citizenship training, character development, and personal fitness, along with meeting requirements in the areas of leadership, service, and outdoor skills, you are well prepared to take your place in our community as a responsible and patriotic leader that will set an example for others to follow. On behalf of the United States Marine Corps, we commend your superior achievement. Please accept this achievement award and Department Eagle patch from the Marine Corps League as our way of showing appreciation to you, a fine example of the youth of America who are our nation's future leaders. Thank you.
Next speaker is from the River Edge Police Department, Officer Michael Variaccio.
I'm an Eagle Scout, so I know what they're going through, so I'm going to make this really, really short. On behalf of the police department, the PBA, and Chief Mike Walker, we'd like to congratulate the new Eagle Scouts and their families for attaining this rank. And I also have certificates, and I'm not going to read them all, obviously, from the Bergen County Police Chiefs Association. Congratulate you on attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. This high honor is a reflection of hard, devoted work with ultimate regard to the concept of Americanism, pledged to continue spiritual, mental, and physical growth. This one is for Brian. Brandon. Jacob. Jake. Michael. And last, but of course not least, Sean. Thank you.
Is Eric Schuler here from the American Legion?
Before I start, I think to my Marines, it's hua, it's an Army term. You guys, you're French on it. Real quick, I'm an Eagle Scout. My dad's an Eagle Scout. My two boys are an Eagle Scout. So obviously I'm in the program. I do Eagle Water reviews. And to my friend George Crispin, I believe we've done some of your reviews. And it's told me some really good stories and success stories. It's an honor to be an Eagle Scout. You guys deserve it? Okay. How about yes? All right. Now, did you do this by yourself? Who do we want to thank? Say it a little louder. How about you give your parents a round of applause for your Scout? The American Legion is very big on Scouts. There's certificates in there, so I think your name will shake your hand. When I was sitting in Iraq, right, before I went to Iraq, you know, a little nervous, right? You know what word got me through? What expression? What's the Scout slogan? Come on. Be. All right. Now, why do you think that's important when you go into a combat zone? Right? You want to make sure you have ammunition, right? Your body armor, right? Now, it also helps you during life, right? Be prepared. You go to a job resume, you go to college, right? When you go to college, it's an experience. When my oldest son went to college, Rutgers, first year, he's wearing the Eagle Scout belt buckle. His roommate's an Eagle Scout. So it's a very tight fraternity. But anyway, I'm not going to go any further, but pull up. And the Army's looking for a few good men. I stole that for you. All right, congratulations.
We have one final award to give out. So there are minimum requirements to make Eagle in merit badges. And when you go above and beyond, insanely above and beyond, and get more than double what is required, you earn what are called palms. Jacob earned bronze and silver palm. I'm going to give it.
Yeah, guys, just so you know, Aiden stopped by earlier and he wanted to let me know he said hi, but I forgot to do it before we started, so I'm telling you now. because without them, this would not have been possible. And I want to thank them individually. First, I want to thank Donna, and I want to thank her for her incessant nagging, because, for the record, it was very, very helpful. And I would not have been as prepared for some things without her constant prodding and questions about, do you have this? Are you sure about this decision? And those things, which was very helpful during my time, both preparing for Philmod, for being in SPL, and for my Eagle project overall. I also would like to thank Luann, because she has been very helpful in making sure that I am dressed the part, and has been very helpful in keeping the uniform together and all of those things, and also in guiding in certain decisions on the project. I also would like to thank Mr. Kress, as without him, he has probably had the single largest impact on my scouting career of any individual that is not a familial member. As he started when I was there and taught me how to use a pocket knife, and earning the willing chip, and then he also was the person who taught Klondike training, which is something that transitions you towards Boy Scouts, and he is actually a significant reason in why I chose Troop 2295 over 184. And he has taught me innumerable pieces of information about the outdoors and other life skills that have been extremely useful in life post-scouting. And he also was my Eagle mentor for the project and overall. So he provided so much guidance. I cannot put into words how much guidance and how much I appreciate him, and he has my eternal gratitude. So, when I started scouting, I always wanted to be an Eagle Scout, but I never knew when or if I would get there. I knew I wanted to do it though. And so, in the beginning of scouting, we went, every month there's a tandem trip. And on my second tandem trip, it was to go mountain biking it was going mountain biking. And so the trip was going fine, we get back, but it starts to rain. And there's tarp setups that we're not getting wet. And so we're cooking dinner, and as they're removing water from one of the tarps, I take a step back and I trip, and I catch myself though. Unfortunately, it's on a giant metal ring that surrounds the tarp. So I ended up with some minor burns on my hands, which is not great. But it only happened once. So the next trip, it's a historical trip to DC, and well, it's a great trip. We were going down. I got to miss a day of school on Friday because it's a fairly long drive. So we're heading down, and we get there, and it's walking around DC. It's a wonderful time. And then after we finish our dinner, one of the scouts starts to not feel so well, and he throws up in a trash can. And yeah, not great. And over time, other scouts start to not feel so well. And by the end of the trip, half of the scouts have contracted some stomach flu and have had a rough night. Unfortunately, I was in the half of scouts that contracted the less than ideal stomach virus. But did this deter me? No. And so one of the first lessons in scouting was perseverance and strength of character. Tenacity is a very important skill. Even if you fail, try and try again. And after having been and going to college, scouting has taught me so many very important skills, like how to cook, how to clean, how to navigate, which is surprising how many people don't know how to do, and how to interview. But it also teaches you how to go grocery shopping, because for every trip, you're required to go get food, to go and eat so you don't starve. And so one of my fond memories of scouting is one of the first times I got assigned to do the grocery shopping for the trip. And so I tell my mother that, oh yeah, we have to go grocery shopping and get food. But I was 11 or 12 years old, so the list was, it was not the greatest. So we spent probably 2 hours in ShopRite looking around, trying to get things that matched the items on the list. It was an important experience in how to make a shopping list and how to actually go grocery shopping, because there's also a budget in place that you have to meet. And my project, it taught me the importance of prep work, because without prep work, the project would have been an absolute mess. But with help from both my parents, Eagle Mentor, and countless other professionals who
he designed the duckboards that ended up at Black Rock Nature Center, it actually ran way faster than expected, and it was supposed to be an all-day project, and we were finished by lunch, which was a little bit dicey because I was concerned I wouldn't actually meet the hours for the project because it ran so smoothly. And for all of the people who are in pursuit of Eagle, it's important to remember your tenacity, and remember, don't give up. It may seem like a long journey, but it's important to just persevere, because if you just keep trying, it will eventually work. And I leave that on my I leave it at that.
It's been nearly 12 years since I first put on the Tiger Scout uniform. In that time, I learned how to tie my shoes, I lost my first tooth, I got my driver's license, and in just 5 days, I'll be graduating high school. As the sun sets on my scouting career, I've only just realized how much of my life it's encompassed. From the 15-degree nights spent huddled around small campfires to the scorching heat at summer camp, Boy Scouts and Troop 2295 have provided so many more fun trips and memories than I can count. And along the way, I've also learned a few things. Outdoor skills like fire building and shelter building, but also leadership skills, people skills, and so much more. Like many things, they say it takes a village to raise an Eagle Scout, and it really does. First, I would like to thank my many Scoutmasters, past and present, that I've had over the years. You've been great leaders and teachers, and the amount of time you've sacrificed for the troop is insane. Coming to all of our meetings, trips, and even bringing me to the emergency room when I almost cut my finger off. I'd also like to thank Mr. Kress, who most recently was my Eagle mentor, but long before that was teaching my 3rd grade self how to use a pocket knife. I can think of few people who have helped me near as much as Mr. Kress has on my journey to becoming an Eagle Scout, and I certainly could not have done it without him. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the huge role that both of my parents had. My dad has always been my inspiration. I can still remember the day he took me up to our attic and showed me his old stuff from Boy Scouts. That day, I made it my goal to be an Eagle Scout, like my father, and since then, he has shown me what it means to be an Eagle by exemplifying the Scout oath and law in his daily life. My mother has also made an unquantifiably large impact on my path to becoming an Eagle. Through the peaks and valleys of my scouting career, you've been a bottomless reservoir of guidance, pushing me when necessary, and providing advice for me at every turn. Lastly, I would like to thank my fellow Scouts, past and present. There would be no troop without you, and one of the best parts of Scouts was all the friends I made along the way. I'm going to miss all of you, and thank you.
How's it going? My name is Michael Ginch, and I just want to thank everyone who's here for coming today. It's really cool to have a lot of visitors who aren't directly affiliated with the troop come and congratulate us. It feels really special. I can still remember the first ever meeting I had with the troop. I was fascinated by every different rank and position, even though I had zero clue what any of it meant at the time. I think that what intrigued me about it so much was that, unlike in Cub Scouts, where everything's kind of handed to you, you have to earn every single rank on your own, and it's all up to you. And it all culminated in Eagle Scout. I believe just by doing the work associated with it becoming an Eagle Scout, you can't help but learn something about accountability and the value of hard work along the way. And it wasn't just the merit badges and the Eagle Project that made my entire experience, but it was my time in Scout leadership that was a very big defining part of my journey. My first year patrol leader was a big system shock for me, and I never had any role or job that made my actions have actual consequences. If I messed up, like if I didn't send an email or I screwed up a meal plan, then other people in my patrol would suffer, and kind of that real, the wake-up call really helped me kind of develop somewhat kind of accountability for the first time. And whenever I came unprepared, I learned a humbling but but valuable lesson. And when I look back at everything I've learned and every cherished memory I have from my years in scouting, it's a pleasure I wouldn't want anyone here to miss out on. I owe every single leader in Scout gratitude for all the guidance, help, and good memories I have, but there are a few people I'd like to mention by name. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Garcia, my Eagle mentor. I can't thank you enough for how generous you were with your time and how you kept me on track and were enthusiastic about my project for all those months. It was really, I can't thank you enough. I'd also like to thank everyone who helped me with my project, the Earthen Oven, especially the Hronsic family, Mr. Hums, Mr. Bizzario, Mr. and Mrs. Hoogstraat, Mr. Cho, and Mr. Kristen. To all the scouts and their families, I want to say how much I appreciate your help, whether you volunteered your time or attended my fundraiser or simply encouraged me along the way. Thank you sincerely. I wouldn't have had this experience without all of our leaders and parent volunteers who selflessly gave their time to help organize and run our troop. There are too many to name, but I want to thank Mr. Hooper, our current Scoutmaster particularly, and Mr. Cookson, who was our Scoutmaster before him. I also want to thank Mr. Brzezinski and Mr. Sagerman for all the work they did over the years. For as long as I can remember, Mr. Kress has been an instrumental leader in our troop, who we all look up to and learn from, starting way back when I was practicing for Klondike many years ago, and which was like a gateway into Boy Scouts for many people. Thank you, Mr. Kress, for everything you do for us in our troop. The two people I need to thank most of all are my mom and dad. Mom, I'm not sure if I'd be up here right now if it weren't for you pushing me to continue when I was being lazy, and I definitely have to apologize for being lazy so often. Throughout my Eagle project and my many merit badges, your encouragement was essential for me reaching the rank of Eagle Scout. Dad, I can't thank you enough for being there every step of the way for me and volunteering as a leader. You spent an immeasurable amount of your own time going to camping trips, helping at meetings, and helping with my Eagle project, of which I don't think would have been nearly as much a success without your help and dedication. Nowadays, whenever I look back at old pictures, it's filled with photos of my camping trips, meetings, and hikes, and I can't help but think about my time in scouting, how big a part of my life it was. I know that I will miss my scouting years, but it will definitely stick with me for the rest of my life.
My name is Brandon Cho, and I first want to thank my family, friends, parents, the troop, Mr. Kress, Mr. Sigerman, Mr. Hooper, Mr. Cookson, Mr. Pazinski, Mr. and Miss Byrne, Mr. Horodnik, Mr. and Miss Hoogstraat, Mr. Melito, Mr. Catalano, Applebee's, and members of the community. Thank you for making today possible and all the support given through the years. It has been a roller coaster of a ride, and I'm truly grateful for all the resources and advice given to me. As you may or may not know, I was not entirely sure if I wanted to do Boy Scouts in the beginning. I was timid, nervous, and hated outdoors. I mean, just the thought of dirt on my pants was enough to send shivers down my spine. I had already been doing Cub Scouts since 3rd grade, but was unsure about whether I would be committed to Boy Scouts. The amount of responsibility, time management skills, physical and mental fortitude needed seemed quite daunting to a 12-year-old boy. I decided to roll along with my friends and join Boy Scouts. I wanted to see how far I could go and at least have some fun with my friends. Fast forward and I'm at the bridging ceremony. On my side of the room are a bunch of 12-year-old boys with fresh uniforms, smiling nervously with their parents. On the other side were the Boy Scouts with their tan uniforms, decorated with numerous colorful patches. Separating us was a makeshift wooden bridge symbolizing our unification into Boy Scouts. Little did we know that crossing that bridge would open millions of possibilities, memories, and experiences. Over the years, I've made more memories than I could count. I explored the great outdoors and saw with my own eyes many of the beautiful attractions nature had to offer. I learned skills ranging from pitching tents, cooking, making a fire, and countless others. I've strengthened the bonds I have with my friends, but paved new ones with others. I learned in depth about my community and even earned a spot as the first student representative of the River Edge Environmental Committee. It was through Boy Scouts where I was able to experience all of these things, and if I could do it all again, I would. Yes, in the beginning I was doubtful. I doubted myself severely. What if I wasn't strong enough to hike up the mountains or swim across the lake? What if I wasn't smart enough to memorize all the necessary information needed in case of an emergency? What if I was not good enough to be a Boy Scout? But it was through these experiences where my insecurities washed away. I built self-confidence through the connections I made. I learned new information and cooperated to build trust. My physique also improved, and my fears of not being physically strong enough were no more. I had begun to believe in myself. Some of you may wonder if I always wanted to become an Eagle Scout, and the truth is that I didn't. Becoming an Eagle Scout was always in the back of my head, and I only focused on the present. But over the years, as I progressed through the ranks and improved myself, I realized how much I wanted to become an Eagle Scout all this time. To become an Eagle Scout is the highest honor in Boy Scouts, and is the ultimate achievement that only 8% of Boy Scouts can achieve. To become an Eagle Scout would prove to myself that I really did improve myself. Who was once a shy, nervous boy, had become an outgoing and confident individual. I'm very proud of what I've achieved, and I look forward to achieving more. But I don't want to stop at just being an Eagle Scout, and neither should other Scouts or individuals. Never settle at where you are at. Keep reaching higher and know no limits. Before I close off the speech, I want to congratulate my fellow Eagle Scouts, Jake, Brian, Sean, Michael, and Jacob. We did it. Through all these tumultuous years, we finally achieved what we desired. Let's not stop here and keep aiming higher, all the way past the moon and whatever is out there. Thank you.
As they say on the Boy Scout website, scouting isn't just about what you do, but who you are. And I feel this quote really embodies how I feel about scouting. What is important across my scouting journey isn't what I did, who I helped, or the awards I earned, but the people that helped me become. I would like to start by thanking my parents, because without them, I would be nowhere near where I am today. After all, they're the ones who introduced me to scouting all those years ago, and along the way, they have taken me to nearly every meeting, prepared me for every trip, and reminded me to get every requirement. But above all, I want to thank them for pushing me to do my best and reminding me to keep working, even when things weren't going well. Next, I would like to thank all of the amazing leaders I've had over the years for volunteering time out of their busy schedules to run the troop and support all of its scouts. They have done so much for all of us over the years, and it wouldn't have been possible without any of them. To Mr. Kress, my Eagle mentor, you've gone above and beyond for all the scouts. Since early Saturday mornings at Van Saun preparing for Klondike to evening meetings at Memorial preparing for my Eagle Scout project. I really can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. And finally, to all the scouts of Troop 2295, thank you. To the scouts that came before me for laying the groundwork, leading and teaching me how to be a scout. To the scouts that were there with me for coming to my project, helping me along the way. And to those scouts now and in the future, good luck to you on your trail to becoming an Eagle.
Hello. Can everyone hear me in the back? Okay. Hi, thank you all for coming, and congrats to all my other Eagle Scouts. Scouts has been a big part of my life, even when I started in first grade, and now all the way until I'm an Eagle Scout. In Boy Scouts, I've done many fun and exciting things, like whitewater rafting, riding on ATVs, going to West Point for weekend, and hiking parts of the Appalachian Trail. During my time in Scouts, I've also been exposed to many new experiences and gained many new life skills, including how to make a fire, how to whittle, and other skills like financial management and time management that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else. Being in Scouts and learning all these skills wouldn't have been possible without the help from my mom and dad. They were there for me every step of the way, from driving me to Cub Scout meetings, all the way to giving me great advice on my Eagle Scout project, and nagging me almost every day about sending out emails. Thanks a lot to my mom for giving me the extra boost when I needed, and my dad for being someone that I could always depend on for advice. I'd also like to thank my project mentor, Mr. Junta. Mr. Junta, thank you very much. The project probably wouldn't even have been completed if it wasn't for you. Your guidance and your wisdom were key factors in helping me complete my project, and you were a very good thesaurus when we were filling out the workbook to help me. I'd also like to thank Mr. Kress. Thank you very much, Mr. Kress. You helped me out the whole way through, and like I said before, I probably wouldn't be an Eagle Scout if it wasn't for you helping me and guiding me. You were always someone very smart, and I was able to pick your brain for a lot of questions I had. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to all my Scoutmasters in the past and present. All of you have helped me on every single step of the way, and all in different ways. Especially thank you very much to Mr. Hums for making sure I never forgot my last name at summer camp. And thank you to my beneficiary, Mr. Mike Pirelli, and the Bergen County Parks Department. Thank you for letting me do my project in your beautiful park. Lastly, to all the Scouts, just keep on working towards Eagle Scout. It's something that I know everyone here is able to do. You just need to want it. Thank you.
We do have a video that we are going to share with you guys first.
My name is Brandon Cho, and I'm here in front of River Edge Environmental Committee's boat shed. I helped repair it and make a life jacket storage container. Regarding my project, I got the idea from the Environmental Commission. I asked them about different projects I can do. What I had in mind was something that was environmental related, since I'm very interested in that topic, and they recommended that I help refurbish the shed and also make a storage system for the life jackets since they were getting eaten by mice. We cleaned the inside of the shed. We scraped the moss in front of the shed. We also made the life jacket storage, like I mentioned. We also made a storage system for the oars. We put some cross beams on the ceiling so we could store them up there. There was also a really big hole in the roof of the shed, so we patched it up with new sheet metal. And we also stabilized the door with more cross beams and made handles and a stronger lock for the door. I had to talk to different people in the community, so I had to talk to Ms. Hoogstreet, who is the president of the Environmental Committee. I also had to talk to Mr. Byrne, who helped me give ideas and tips on how I should refurbish the shed, repair it, what exactly I need and what I should do. I also had to gain approval from the town, which I got, and I had to get the key for the shed. We set up for our project. We got our materials from the cars, and because of COVID, things were a little different. I had to make sure that everyone was wearing a mask and try to social distance whenever it's possible. And we just followed through. I had a basic plan on what everyone had to do. I made sure everything was done, like sweeping, painting the life jacket storage, and I kept track of everything, like keeping the times of everyone, and everything went smoothly. I had Mr. Byrne and his friend Mr. Horanik. They did all of the working on the shed, so they installed these cross beams into the door, they fixed the roof, and yeah, there was a lot of work that they had to do, and they did a really good job. I felt that was really important because this shed has been here for quite a while, for many years, and it's been needing of a really good cleaning, and many repairs were needed to be done, especially the hole, since it let a lot of rainwater in and mice could go through there too. Also the life jackets, they were getting eaten by the mice, and it would mean that the commission would have to spend a lot more money to buy more vests, and I didn't want that to happen, so I made a storage system so that the vests would stay dry and safe. I learned a lot about time management more. I had to contact different people, whether it's phone calls or emails. I also had to learn that just because you plan something, nothing's ever gonna really go as planned. You always have to factor in different things you didn't expect. So expect the unexpected is what I'd say I learned.
My name is Jacob Benjamin Dapper Campagnola, and we are at Flat Rock Brook Nature Center, and we are here looking at my previous Eagle project. The reason why I chose to do my Eagle project here was because I had come here since childhood and wanted to give back to a place that had contributed so much of my outdoor experience from a early age. And I came to this place and asked what they needed, and they said, oh, we need something to, we needed some fixtures on the trail. They're called duck boards, and their use is primarily to allow people to walk over areas that are getting eroded and where moisture and water pools. And by doing this, it prevents people walking around puddles and allows to reduce the amount of erosion occurring in an area. coming here on a very rainy day and looking to see where was the water pooling and where was the trail kind of like expanding based on like a day of like heavy rainfall, and looking to see like, oh, where were people walking around the path and putting them there so that it would encourage people to not do that. I had to contact Brian Dedian, and he was the head of grounds here at Flat Rock Brook when I was doing the project. I figured what was the simplest design that would last for a long period of time. So I also looked at previous designs that were already around the nature preserve, and I came upon adding 4 4x4 railroad ties and then 3 2x8s over the top of them with 4 screws in each 2x8 on each railroad tie, and the wood would have been pressure treated as well, so it would last for a fairly long time. The fundraiser was a flapjack fundraiser at Applebee's, and it was conducted in the morning and was serving pancakes to people, and that is how the funds were raised. There were 2 shifts of scouts. The first shift, the primary goal was getting all of the materials that weren't already at the site to the site. And then once the materials had gotten to the site, it was dispersing all of the wood to the locations where they would be built. And then I divided up the adults and people who were trained in using power tools into teams that would go from logs to site, constructing them. No, it ran much smoother than I expected because I had done a bunch of prep work and making sure that like I had the people that I would need to make sure that everything would go smoothly, because I'm not an expert in building these, but I was able to, a few experts in carpentry and other skills were able to come, and they were extremely helpful in assembling them very quickly. The power of good prep work. Prepare in advance for things, as if you prepare for them, things don't go wrong and they tend to run very smoothly. And if you plan, even if something does go wrong, you'll have an answer for that issue.
I'm Michael Ginch. We're behind the Campbell Christie House at Newbridge Landing in River Edge. This is my Eagle Scout project. It's a 18th century earthen oven. It's used to create baked, to cook some baked goods and foods. It's what soldiers used. It was probably what soldiers would have used at the time when they're cooking here. I mean, I'm very much into history, and I like learning about history. So I approached the president of the BCHS and asked them what I could do to help around here, and they suggested this oven itself. We had a lot of separate work days. It wasn't just 1 or 2 or 3 long work days. It was a lot of small things and a lot of big things. We made the base itself over the course of a few days with Mr. Hanzik. We set the bricks in with sand. These are fire bricks to help better contain the heat. We made the oven itself with a large covering over it because the oven can't get wet. Otherwise it'll just fall apart. It's really just made of hardened clay and sand with some straw. And we have the roof on here, which is meant to protect it from the water. But we do have a tarp, which we cover it most of the time. So first, to get the inside the right shape, it has to be a very specific shape. The roof has to be a certain height in order to better trap the heat and make sure it cooks it well. Because the way the oven works, it doesn't you don't have a fire in there. You actually make a fire, you wait for the inside to heat up, you take the fire out and you put stuff in, and just the leftover heat cooks whatever's in there. We had to make a sand mold on which we put a mixture of clay and sand, which we call cob. Wait for that to dry, take the sand out, and then put on another layer of cob, this sand clay mixture with straw in it. On top of this, just so that it's very firm, it's hard. Like, this thing will last several years. The oven itself will break down, but the base can be reused. Yeah, there's definitely too many people to name. Even just the people who donated money to help, like from the BCHS and friends and family, to help, because a lot of these components are expensive. We have had Mr. Kristen help with the roof a lot and get the shingles in, and that was a big help because we couldn't just leave up a tarp or anything like that. We had to make a roof. Mr. Hums, Mr. Hooper, a lot of the leaders came down and helped a lot. Like, a lot of them helped every single day, which they didn't have to. They went above and beyond, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And every single one of the scouts who came down. I'd honestly say it went very smoothly, like all things considered. it could have gone a lot worse. I was very worried about how the sand mold was going to go because we had to get the proportions extremely right for the mold. If anything went perfectly, it had to be the mold to trap the heat well, because this is, for something seeming so primitive, it had to be very precise. And we had to take it down once on the day, but we ended up get it out right, and that was thanks to all the adults who came down, because the adults were the ones working on it. The Hoogstraits helped, a lot of other families, the Hums again, the Hoopers, everyone who came down and helped. Well, we split up into three groups. One group mixing all the cob with their feet, and on the tarps it was like you're kind of mixing cement with your feet almost. And we had all the adults who were there working on the sand mold that day. I'm extremely happy. I really didn't expect so many people to be so enthusiastic, so excited to help me with my project. I didn't expect all the all the extra support that I got, and I'm more than happy with the product. I feel like that the hardest part is that you're not going to be told what to tell people. You're going to have no one's going to expect you. Well, I mean, no one's going to be able to anticipate what you want. You have to be sure, you have to know what has to get done. You have to be able to be assertive enough to tell people what to do. And it's a real challenge, especially if you're if this isn't something normal for you, if this is new. And I feel like it's the most important part of the leadership side of scouting, and just being on top of things, and that's really hard. But I feel like once it's done, once it's all set, I think it's really rewarding. I feel like it is a real, and again with the leadership aspect of it, it can be a real trouble just to be the one person, the singular person who's in charge again. And you could be really on top of things, and you could have all the notes, you could have all the preparation, but I feel like you have to have a certain amount of assertiveness and command a certain amount of respect and be able to do that. And that was a bit of a challenge for me, being the one person who was telling people what to do. I couldn't really ask other people to help me or be on the same kind of level as me during my project, and that was pretty stressful at first. But I feel like looking back at it, it was a good experience. Well, it's actually been used a few times already. It's used in demonstrations for the BCHS. Especially during COVID, a lot of people had to do outdoor demonstrations. They couldn't be inside the museums themselves, and we just did outdoor, a lot of the people working with the out kitchen and stuff like that. They worked here, and they made bread for our audience. We've only made it ourselves once. Made stuff in the bread. We've made stuff in the oven only once ourselves. It takes a very long time to get it started, but it tastes slightly better than if you were to use a normal oven.
Hi, my name is Sean Murray. I'm here at Vantage Health Systems with a group home for mentally challenged women. I learned about this project from Mrs. O'Neill, my old Cub Scout leader. And what I did here was I built a new outdoor area for all the women who stay here to use. I was looking around for projects, and Mrs. O'Neill suggested that I come look at this because they were currently using a bunch of old chairs that were broken down and falling apart, and I think they were in need of an upgrade so that they could use their outdoor space. First things I had to do was I reached out to the person who managed the place and arranged to come visit, and I looked around and saw what I was starting with. And then from there, I had to kind of envision what I was going to do with the place and what I wanted to build and add to it. So for fundraiser, I asked family and friends to help donate money for it. After the fundraiser, I was sourcing materials and trying to get the best prices I could for those, and also managing availability. Since so many people were building decks during quarantine, there was a big shortage of pressure-treated wood, which is what I used for everything. I assembled a group of volunteers to come help me build this. So we did it across a few days. The first day we built the 2 benches and the table, and then the next day we built the planter. I learned a lot about the importance of planning and making sure you have everything squared away beforehand, how it can really help. I feel it could just really help them out here because they were so restricted by their outdoor furniture. Like, they have so much space out here, so much they could do with it, but they had no way to take advantage of it. So we brought everything up, we unloaded everything, brought it out here. We planted all the plants inside the planter. We set everything up, and then we brought everybody out to see it, and it was great when they all came out here and seeing the looks on their faces when they were finally able to see what I'd worked so hard for. They were thrilled with it. It felt great to see them so excited by what I'd done. One of the nurses came out, she was crying. She was so happy about what I've been able to do for them.
Hi, I'm Brian Bustede. We're at the Weeblo Trail out in Van Son Park where I did my Eagle Scout project. The inspiration for this trail came because we used to do a lot of Weeblo training for the Klondike here, and I noticed this trail was very beaten up behind, so what I tried to do is come by, refurbish it and add a lot of new features that weren't there previously. So first of all, I had to talk to the park manager who we decided what's going to be put in the trail and not. He basically gave me free rein on what to do, whether it was cleaning up the trail, adding new pieces, putting up trail markers, and identifying different trees and wildlife. After I discussed this with him, I needed to talk to the graphic designer in the county to make the sign that's right behind me. And basically what that was is we went through, decided how it was going to look, what was going to be on the sign, and just what it's going to look like in general. So for my project, I had a lot of scouts come up, and we split everyone up into groups. There were a couple groups where people would be cleaning up the trail, going around with trash bags, rakes, kind of defining the trail more. Other groups would go around planning out where we're going to mark the trail to put up markers for all the walkers and dog walkers. And the final group would go around identifying trees that we'd put up plaques later on. Definitely on this project, I learned how to be able to, I definitely learned how to motivate scouts better. I learned throughout the day people get more tired and lethargic as they move on, so I needed to learn how to keep them more motivated throughout the whole entire project. I also needed to learn how to have work with multiple groups of people, whether they're really spread apart and doing different tasks.
My name is Jake Hoogstrait, and I'm here at St. Peter's Academy, which is the site of my Eagle Scout project. For my project, I restored the play area for the kids at St. Peter's Academy by painting games onto the blacktop, such as hopscotch and boxball, and refurbishing the playground, as well as building a new bench for them. So I chose this project because I've been going to St. Peter's for all my life, and I wanted to give back to the church and the school for all that they did for me. To start out for the project, I talked to Father Mike and Mr. McCarthy, who was at the time the principal of St. Peter's Academy, about what needed to be done. I drew up plans for all the games that we painted and figured out what I would need to do in order to get the resources necessary for the project. On the first workday, we put new playground cover on the playground, cleaned off the playground, assembled a bench, and coated the driveway in degreaser and power washed it so that it would be ready for painting. On the second day, we painted the games, which was 2 box balls and 2 hopscotches. During both days of the project, I split the scouts into different groups and had them focus on different aspects of the project. There were some scouts putting the bench together, some scouts were in the playground, weeding it, putting more playground cover on it, and we also had scouts working with the power washer and degreaser. On the painting day, we had some scouts taping stuff, some scouts were painting. So during the project, we ran into a few complications. On the first day, we noticed there was a pipe jutting out from the playground that was definitely going to be a safety hazard for kids playing. They could have fallen on it or tripped over it. So Mr. Ginch got some tools and removed it, and that was something we didn't realize we were going to have to do. On the second day, when we were painting, we realized it was actually a lot harder than we thought it was going to be to make the hopscotches and space them all out evenly since we didn't have stencils. And Mr. Jason Melito, the superintendent of the River Edge DPW, was very helpful in making sure that it went right, and he had a lot of good ideas to help do the spacing correctly for the hopscotch. For my project, I did a fundraiser at Habit Burger in River Edge. From the fundraiser, we raised $194.50, which allowed me to buy the bench and materials to help paint and do all the work that was done. From the project, I learned the importance of delegation and assigning different people to do different things. There were a lot of moving parts to the project, and I had to make sure that everything got done, but I couldn't physically do all of it.
Okay, so we now ask Claudio O'Neill to deliver our closing prayer.
Okay, very honored to be here. They say life comes in a circle, and I think back to 12 years ago being with Brian, Sean, and Michael, Julie, Colette, myself in Mr. Perone's classroom, the music room, teaching them the Cub Scout oath and promise, and thinking, oh dear God, we're never going to get out of this classroom. So to be here with them today is a great honor, so I'm thrilled to be speaking. Success is never rushed. The greatest reward is the journey it takes one to be successful. Today we honor each of you who took that journey to the rank of Eagle. Most of you started as Tigers, and over the past 12 years you've learned the lore of scouting, but you've also become true men. You come to realize in scouting you make small decisions with your head and the big decisions with your heart. Each of you have left a lasting gift for others to enjoy, whether it's a walk on wood planks so your feet don't get wet, to play a game of box ball or hopscotch, to sit in a backyard table and enjoy the sunshine, to store a life jacket after a day on the water, to cook a meal that a soldier might have done hundreds of years ago, or to follow the Weeblo Trail and advance on up to St. Peter's. Your projects have become everlasting gifts to the community. You should be so proud of your hard work, but humble to the people who helped you get here today. C.S. Lewis said, there are far, far better things ahead than what you leave behind. Knowing these projects have left major impacts for others, I can't wait to see what your futures hold. Brandon, Brian, Jacob, Jake, Michael, and Sean, congratulations to you and to your family, your fellow scouts and leaders. You know that we will always be here for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. So I would like to just give a round of applause. I'm going to name them all, and then we'll do the applause afterwards. So just the people who made this Court of Honor today possible. Mr. Hoogstraat, who took care of all the technical stuff. Jack McGinnis, who's been manning the camera this whole time. Mr. Kress, our Scoutmaster, Mr. Hooper. Of course, all of our adult leaders. And sorry if I also forget you. And just all the scouts of Troop 2295. Let's give them a round of applause. It's been a terrific afternoon. In behalf of our newest Eagle Scouts and their families, we'd like to thank all of you as well for being a part of it. Let's give our newest Eagle Scouts one more round of applause. Thanks again to all. After we retire the colors, we ask you to please join us for refreshments and celebration. All please rise. Scouts, come to attention. Color Guard, advance. Color Guard, retire the colors. Thank you. Have a nice day.